Hey, Dave LeCali with Head Games Builderworks. Today we are going to do a teardown on a 1200 horsepower RB26. Keep watching. All right, let's take this thing from the top. This is the journals, and I really don't see much issues. There is a little bit of scarring there. I don't know what that is. And then there's this right here. Not sure. Looks kind of, it's kind of like a belt maybe, but all the journals look pretty good. Now, we did this head many years ago. I'm going to show you more in a minute. We used to do the clearancing on the seat and guide machine, and we would have to do it with an end mill, so we get these round pieces. Now it gets done with the CNC and they go back and forth and we don't get the same thing. And you also notice that it's really tight to the oil, so that means that there is a big ass cam. Lots of lift. That's the only thing about a RB26 is what they have to do is a reduce space circle in order to get away from that oil hole, but it's still good. It's far enough away. Anything too crazy going on with the cam journals? Bucket holes look okay. Everything looks good. Now the cam journals on the cam caps look, you can see they look a little hurt. There's definitely some garbage that went through the motor. I don't know why it would only affect the cam cap and not the cam journal itself. And it definitely affected the cam shafts. We'll get to that in a little bit, but that is what's going on there. So it looks like some trash went through the motor or some oil starvation, but definitely got something going on. This was a CNC port from many years ago. I'm gonna say maybe 4 or 5 years ago. I think we did this head, and now it's back. It's back and some bent valves. We're gonna go over that in a second too, but show you the head. So I think everything looks pretty good. I don't see anything wrong with the deck surface, and it has a CNC port, as you can see. I'll show you the exhaust in a second. Here is the exhaust port. Now, mind you, unlike most of our teardowns, this head has already been cleaned. So it's been through the spray washer a couple times. It's been through the ultrasonic, and now it's pretty clean. So it's ran for a while. The guy definitely, he was able to put some miles on it, put some dyno. Cams are looking a little beat up. When I say beat up, I mean that the journals look a little scorned. You can see it there. And it looks like it gets worse as you go down the line here. So this is number 5, and number 6 is looking a little worse. And that one looks okay. On the intake side, that guy got really hurt. And you'll notice that the lobes look fine, except for maybe this one looks a little beat up. So you can tell there was some valve float going on, because whenever it hits the acceleration side of the camshaft, so if it hits this side, you can see it's not so bad on that, but it really hit hard on that side. That is valve float. But there's definitely some trash. If I were a betting man, and you guys can comment below, I think that a problem could have happened here is that we have a rod bearing going bad. Because when the rod bearing goes bad, it is going to tear up the journal first, because there's not going to be any oil. Or something went through the engine, definitely wasn't clean, and that's what I see here. Working our way down, we got the buckets here, and a lot of the buckets are good, but I did notice that if you look on the side of them, they have a lot of pull marks. So this one's actually that one's pretty good. They have pull marks from going into a dry bucket hole. So you can tell that a lot of times when you have E85 or you didn't put any assembly lube, you're gonna have stuff on the side of the bucket, and that's what you get right here. So there's nothing clearance wise, it's just, that's what happens when you have an issue with no oil. No oil is gonna create a metal to metal transfer, and that's when you get these pulls that happen there. You can see a lot of that. You can tell the bucket was definitely spinning, so there was some clearance. There is marks here, you guys can see that, but there's no feeling of difference there. And actually I measured it with a mic, and they measure fine. It's just that there is definitely some metal to to metal transfer going on through the whole thing. And which also backs me up when talking about a rod bearing issue. So the rod bearing is going to supply the cylinder head with oil. And if you're noticing that, like how good the exhaust bucket looks, but then when we start looking at the intake buckets, which I believe that the RB26 oils the intake last. And that's when you're seeing all the pulling marks are all on the intake side. For valve springs, we have the GSC conical spring. This spring actually was a Head Games thing prior to GSC coming out with them, but GSC made them for us because we really needed a valve spring solution for the RB26, and thankfully all of us reap the rewards of them doing that. And this is the shimless bucket conversion. So what I just showed you is a factory Toyota bucket, and then this spring goes with that in order to make it shimless conversion, which makes it awesome. Back before this valve spring, we used to use a shim under bucket, or there would be a shim in the retainer, and that's how an RB26 is actually made. But I always had problems with them. We were failing them all the time. It will spit that shim. I don't care whose bucket we used, it was still failing them. So we just completely stopped using them. I begged Gray at GSC to make me something that works. And all we did was basically make this thing more like a 2JZ. On the valve side, we have some cleaned ones over here, and we have some dirty ones over here. And the dirty ones we're gonna get to in a second. When I show you the clean ones, you'll notice that there is some discoloration. So there's some blue and purple colors there. And that usually, see how it goes all the way up the stem. It actually goes all the way up to here. And that is a good indication somebody's a flamethrower. Somebody like up, and they like to hit that thing on a two-step, and they like that flame. But that, you can also see on these, see a little bit of oil. And these are actually bent. So that is what's going on there. And you can see that there are definitely some oil deposits. There's some colors. Let's go chuck them up on the valve refacer. I knew I could have put these valves in our concentricity gauge just to check the valves, but I think that a valve refacer is just more fun for us to do this. This is not how we do it normally, but I see so much heat and I was thinking, man, they has to have some bent valves. And you know, some of the valves are blue and purples. So let's check a couple of these out. And that thing is waffled. You see that, guys? That thing is moving around. All right, I put another one in here. Check that thing out. That thing is moving. I bet you that's every bit 6 to 10 thousandths out. Another angle of that bitch. Just moving around. Now we're gonna check the valve guides because I did notice that they are a little loose on the exhaust. Now, I'm not checking it with a dial bore gauge. Yes, I know this, but you can definitely tell that there is some clearance there. It definitely moves around, but in this instance, too loose, you know it, and too tight, everybody knows it, because when a valve guide is too tight, the valve will get stuck in there and it doesn't move. When it's too loose, it just wears prematurely. What I don't see is any evidence that it's harming the valve. The valves are all pretty good. On the stem, I just had some bent valves. Now also, it's possible that that could cause a situation where it's going to bend the valve, but that's unlikely here. I think it's really the heat that's doing it, because, well, this is a clearance that I've seen get away with, and I've seen OEM guides are really loose. The bronze should be a little bit tighter, and they're inconsistent. So I'm going to say that this is not a Head Games problem. So I know we had some bent valves, we had some other stuff, but the valve guide clearance is definitely, like, it's tight there. That one's pretty tight. So the intake side's nice. There's no wiggle. Now the clearance should be here. We want like 1 thou to 1.5 thou of clearance for valve to guide clearance. We don't want much more than that. And I would say that the exhaust is about a 1.8. That's what I'm gonna call that. Obviously, you're not gonna be around to measure it, but I think that's about a 1/8. Now, this guy sent me a video of his mechanic checking the buckets from way out here, and he said, "Man, they're loose." And I was like, "Man, but they're so far out. It's not really where they sit." So I put the bucket in where they sit, and I don't see that wiggle that he was talking about. Those things stay pretty. They stay pretty there, you know. It's kind of wild. Some people check things in a very weird way. I know it's been clearance for the cam, and that's what we were concerned about, but I'll try to get it for you guys so you can see. But there's just that wiggle. Now, know that the clearance here is, and the clearance here actually is, it can be pretty big. I don't see any issues. I just don't see any signs of the wear that we're talking about, where, you know, if the cam journal was loose, you would get more oil. If here was too big, it would maybe make a clatter, but it's going to get more oil. It's not going to wear out parts prematurely. If it's tight, same thing here. If it's tight, too loose, you know it. Too tight, everybody knows it, because it will get stuck in there and it destroys itself. So being a little loose is okay. But I don't see that. I don't see that going on here. Actually, I see some marks here that maybe we are scuffing a little bit on the corners there, but I don't see anything where it's actually like loose, and the side of the bucket I seen dragging, which I think, so it would take some metal out of here, but you know, believe it or not, the bucket holes are actually in great shape. All things considered that we're talking about where it's pulling metal, I just don't see any issues in the cylinder head itself. What's next for this build? So we are gonna put some bronze guides in the exhaust side. We're gonna tighten that clearance up, and we are gonna replace, I think there's like 5 exhausts. There's a couple intake valves that are bent. There's a couple buckets that are wasted. The cams need to get polished. We can polish this out, and I will be back to no. All we're going to do is take off the high sides of that, hit that thing with some Scotch-Brite, and it will be good to go. And we're just going to tidy this thing up, relash it, revalve job it, mill it, and assemble it, and it's off, back to running and making big jams. So that's going to do it for us today. Be sure to like, subscribe, comment below. I'd love to hear from you. Toodles.